Did you know there are 5 fruits that can help you sleep through the night without waking up to go to the bathroom? And 5 others that might silently be making the problem worse? To help us understand this phenomenon, we're joined today by Dr. Hiroshi Yamazaki, a Japanese physician with over 30 years of experience in senior urogenital health and the prevention of sleep disorders. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you for the invitation. And yes, what you're saying is absolutely true. What many people eat after 6 p.m. could be sabotaging their rest. And the saddest part is, no one tells them.
Dr. Yamazaki, does this happen due to an illness, or is it simply part of aging?
What's interesting is that it's not a disease. It's a direct consequence of natural aging. In Japan, we see this all the time. People have dinner at 7 p.m., go to bed early. But at midnight, or at 2 or even 4 in the morning, they're up again, with a bladder that just won't wait.
So what exactly is happening inside the body?
It all begins with the kidneys. After the age of 60, they start filtering more slowly at night. They're not sick, just a bit more delicate. At the same time, the bladder becomes more sensitive, almost like it's lost its patience. Even with half a glass of urine, it sends an urgent signal to the brain. Wake up now.
So before, the bladder used to hold more?
Exactly. And if you add irritating foods like citrus fruits, certain pickled items, or even strong black tea, you've got the perfect recipe for broken sleep. What most people don't realize is that common fruits can lower the urine's pH, making it more acidic, and that acidity irritates the bladder.
So what we eat at night has a direct impact on sleep quality.
Absolutely. But here's the good news. With just a few simple changes in the fruits you eat, you can find real relief. That's why today we'll go through, one by one, the 5 fruits you should include and the 5 that might be sabotaging your sleep without you realizing it.
Dr. Yamazaki, tell us, what fruit do you recommend to help older adults sleep better and reduce those nightly bathroom visits?
Let's start with papaya. It's often underestimated. People think it's only good for digestion, but it's so much more than that. This orange-colored fruit contains an enzyme called papain, which helps break down the proteins in our food. This is key, because lighter digestion means the stomach and intestines exert less pressure on the bladder.
Could you give an example to help us understand that better?
Of course. Imagine an older adult here in Kyoto who used to eat heavy dinners, like curry rice or fried dishes. After switching to a lighter dinner with a slice of papaya, they noticed reduced bloating. As a result, their nighttime trips to the bathroom decreased significantly. This happens because when the digestive system is clear and working properly, the bladder doesn't get that added pressure and stays calmer.
Does papaya have any other benefits for the bladder?
Yes, it has a gentle alkalizing effect on the body, meaning it doesn't contribute to urinary acidity. This is crucial for older adults, since acidic urine can irritate the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and prone to contractions. A daily serving of papaya can help maintain a balanced urinary pH and calm that irritation.
How do you recommend consuming papaya to get these benefits?
The ideal is to eat a slice of ripe papaya, around 150 grams, after dinner 3 to 5 times a week. The fruit should be a deep orange color and slightly soft to the touch, not too green, not overripe. Avoid adding lemon or sugar, as that interferes with its alkalizing effect. Also, it's best to eat it at least 2 hours before bed to allow for proper digestion.
Any precautions people should take when consuming it?
For most older adults, papaya is safe and beneficial. However, if someone is on digestive medications or allergic to the fruit, they should check with their doctor first. Overall, it's a natural and simple option that can make a big difference in sleep quality.
We'd love to hear from our listeners. Do you eat papaya before bed? Share your experience in the comments. Wonderful, Dr. Yamazaki. We're looking forward to discovering the next fruit that could improve our nighttime rest. Absolutely. Let's move on to bananas, one of the most humble and reliable fruits found in kitchens across Japan and the world. It's been a staple in traditional diets for generations. I remember so many older adults telling us, "My parents always said, eat a banana at night. It keeps your stomach cool." And behind that simple phrase lies a deep wisdom. What wisdom is that, doctor?
Bananas are naturally low in acid, which means they don't irritate the bladder lining. For those suffering from frequent nighttime urination, that alone can offer real relief. But there's more. A medium banana contains about 400 milligrams of potassium, an essential mineral that helps relax the smooth muscles of the bladder, reducing unnecessary contractions. In other words, it keeps the bladder calm and quiet, so it doesn't send urgent messages to the brain in the middle of the night.
Interesting. Are there other benefits our audience should know about?
Yes, many, especially for older adults with mild blood pressure concerns, bananas provide energy in a gentle way, without creating excess internal heat. That's essential for maintaining overall balance and nighttime comfort.
When's the best time to eat a banana, and how should it be consumed?
The ideal time is mid-afternoon, around 5 p.m., or about an hour after dinner. Make sure it's ripe, but not overly ripe, and never eat it cold, straight from the fridge. Cold foods can disrupt digestion in older bodies. Also, I recommend eating bananas 3 to 4 times a week to keep the benefits consistent.
Any precautions our listeners should keep in mind?
Generally, bananas are safe for most people. But if someone has kidney issues or needs to strictly monitor their potassium intake, it's best to consult their doctor before increasing banana consumption.
Before we continue, I want to remind everyone listening that subscribing to Hidden Medical Thoughts gives you access to interviews just like this one. Now let's keep going. Perfect, doctor. So far, we've covered 2 fruits that can really help those suffering from nighttime urination. But now, let's talk about a fruit that quietly grows in many backyards and often goes underappreciated: guava. What secrets does this fruit hold when it comes to bladder health?
Guava is truly fascinating. When it's slightly firm, not overripe or too green, it's an impressive source of vitamin C. But what matters most for those dealing with nighttime urination is that, unlike citrus fruits, guava contains much less citric acid. That makes it far gentler and less irritating to the bladder lining, which is especially important for older adults with sensitive bladders.
And what other benefits does guava offer?
In addition to its vitamin C content, guava has anti-inflammatory compounds that help soothe mild inflammation in the urinary tract. For example, a retired teacher from Kerala told us that once she started eating a medium guava around 4 p.m., 3 hours before dinner, she noticed a significant decrease in her nighttime awakenings and less burning during urination. For her, that simple change brought back the quality of sleep she thought she had lost forever.
Fascinating. What practical advice can you give for incorporating guava into a daily routine?
The best time to eat guava is mid-afternoon, ideally around 4 or 5 p.m. It's important not to pair it with milk, as that combination can be hard to digest for older adults. I also recommend peeling the guava if the skin is too thick to avoid digestive discomfort, and never add salt or spice blends like masala. The more natural, the better, to avoid any bladder irritation.
And how much should someone eat, and how often, to notice the effects?
A medium guava, roughly 150 to 180 grams, is enough. Eating it 3 to 4 times per week can provide a sustained benefit for both the bladder and urinary tract inflammation.
Is there anything else our audience should keep in mind?
Yes. Although guava is gentle, if someone has specific medical conditions or allergies, it's always best to check with their physician. But overall, daily habits like this may seem small, but over time they can dramatically improve the quality of your sleep.
Thank you, doctor. We're starting to understand that the key lies in small changes with big results. But first, do you eat guavas? How do you like them? Let us know in the comments below. Which fruit will we explore next that might surprise our listeners?
It's a summertime favorite for many people, but might seem like a contradiction for those struggling with nighttime urination: watermelon.
Watermelon is made up mostly of water, so if eaten at the wrong time or in large amounts, it can actually increase nighttime trips to the bathroom and disturb sleep. But when eaten in moderation and at the right time of day, watermelon offers surprising benefits. What specific benefits does it provide?
Watermelon contains lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that gives it that bright red color. Lycopene is not only known for supporting prostate health in men, but it also reduces irritation in the bladder wall. For both men and women, this is crucial for older adults who often experience mild prostate inflammation or early signs of urinary tract issues.
So when's the best time to eat watermelon?
Timing is key. Watermelon should be consumed in the first half of the day, ideally before 2 p.m. That way, its high water content won't interfere with sleep. The recommended portion is small. A bowl of about 150 to 200 grams is enough to get the benefits without overloading the system.
Any precautions on how to eat it?
Yes. Don't combine watermelon with other fruits or dairy products, especially for older adults, as that may slow digestion. Eat it at room temperature and, most importantly, avoid it completely after sunset to protect your sleep.
Fascinating, Doctor. We're seeing clearly how timing and method of consumption can make all the difference. What can you tease for us about the next group of fruits?
What comes next may surprise many people, because what seems healthy at first glance may not be so friendly to a sensitive bladder.
Before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Medical Thoughts to get access to future interviews like this one. Let's keep going. Dr. Yamazaki, let's now turn to a fruit that's often overlooked, yet could be a powerful ally for bladder health: the pear. What makes it so special for older adults dealing with nighttime urination?
The pear is truly a hidden gem in the diet of older individuals. Naturally low in acid, it doesn't irritate the sensitive lining of the bladder. But what really makes it valuable is its sorbitol content, a naturally occurring sugar alcohol that plays a crucial role in digestion.
Sorbitol. Can you explain a bit more about how that helps?
Certainly. Sorbitol attracts water into the intestines, supporting regular bowel movements. And here's the important part. One of the lesser-known causes of frequent urination in older adults is pressure from a slow or constipated digestive system. When the colon is full or distended, it presses against the bladder, increasing that constant urge to go.
It's fascinating how everything in the body is interconnected. So eating a pear could indirectly help the bladder feel more at ease.
Exactly. In many Japanese villages, and really all over the world, there's an old saying, "A happy stomach brings a quiet bladder." That's very true for people dealing with both constipation and nighttime urination. Eating a ripe, medium-sized pear in the late afternoon, say between 4 and 6 p.m., can reduce abdominal bloating and ease the pressure on the bladder during sleep.
And how should it be consumed?
It's best not to peel the pear entirely. The skin contains a good amount of fiber, which is essential for gut health. Just be sure to wash it well and eat it slowly, giving the body time to absorb the nutrients and letting the sorbitol work gently. Chewing slowly also helps avoid overwhelming the digestive system.
How often would you recommend eating pears?
For older adults, including a medium pear in the diet 3 to 4 times a week can offer noticeable benefits. It doesn't need to be daily, but regularity is key to maintaining healthy digestion and preventing that irritating pressure on the bladder that leads to those bothersome nighttime wake-ups.
It's truly fascinating how something as simple as a pear can have such a big impact on sleep quality and overall well-being. Dr. Yamazaki, let's now talk about something many people think of as harmless or even healthy citrus juice. Yet, it seems this can be a silent enemy for those who suffer from frequent nighttime urination. Why is that?
That's right. While orange, lemon, or even kiwi juices are seen as refreshing and natural, they can actually cause problems, especially for older adults. The issue lies in their high acidity. When these fruits are blended into juice, especially after sunset, they create an acidic environment in the bladder that can trigger a wave of urgent signals.
So, is acidity really the main problem?
Exactly. The low pH of the urine irritates the bladder's delicate lining, which, in older adults, is already more sensitive. This irritation doesn't just cause discomfort, it creates a cycle of false alarms and frequent urination. Sleep gets disrupted again and again, severely affecting quality of life.
Many people think juice is lighter than solid fruit. Is that true?
Not at all. Juices contain concentrated forms of acid and sugar that enter the system rapidly, often more quickly than whole fruit. That means your bladder takes the hit much faster and more intensely.
What alternatives would you recommend for someone who wants something refreshing after dinner?
A great option is a cup of warm water with a few soft pear slices, or a handful of watermelon cubes at room temperature, but only during the day. These choices help maintain hydration without activating or irritating the bladder. Avoiding citrus juices at night can make a massive difference in sleep quality.
That sounds simple, yet powerful. Do you think many people are unaware of this detail?
Yes, and that's exactly why we're discussing it. Small dietary changes, like avoiding citrus juices at night, can break the cycle of disrupted sleep and bring real improvements to daily life for older adults.
We'll continue exploring more fruits and habits that affect this delicate balance. What other surprises await us?
There are several, and some are truly unexpected. I encourage everyone not to miss the next tips on how to support your bladder and get better sleep.
Before we continue, just a quick reminder. Subscribing to Hidden Medical Thoughts gives you access to more educational interviews like this one. Let's keep going. Dr. Yamazaki, let's now talk about a fruit that's extremely popular, refreshing, and sweet: pineapple. But it seems it may not always be the best choice for those struggling with nighttime urination. What can you tell us about that?
Pineapple is undeniably delicious and nutritious, especially valued for its bromelain content, an enzyme that helps break down proteins and supports digestion. However, that same enzyme can also stimulate intestinal activity, which can become a problem for older adults.
Can you explain how that affects the bladder?
Of course. When the intestines become too active, especially at night, while the body is resting, they can exert a subtle but persistent pressure on nearby organs, including the bladder. This pressure can trigger false urgency signals, making someone feel the need to urinate frequently, even if the bladder isn't actually full.
Do you have any real-world examples of this happening?
Yes. An elderly woman from Chennai told us she used to eat pineapple slices after dinner to relieve constipation. While her digestion did improve, she also began waking up during the night with a sudden urge to urinate, far more than before. That's a clear case of how pineapple can indirectly affect sleep quality.
So for someone who enjoys a sweet and refreshing fruit after dinner, what would you suggest instead?
I'd recommend ripe papaya or a small pear. These fruits are less acidic, have calming effects on the digestive system, and don't overstimulate the intestines or irritate the bladder. Including them in your nighttime diet can help improve rest and reduce nighttime bathroom visits. Just remember the tips we mentioned earlier.
It's amazing how small changes can have such a big impact on sleep and overall well-being. What other fruits or habits should we look into next? Dr. Yamazaki, some fruits are commonly thought to be healthy, but could some actually be affecting our sleep without us realizing?
Yes, for example, citrus fruits like oranges. While refreshing and packed with nutrients, they contain citric acid, which can negatively affect the bladder, especially in older adults.
How does that happen?
Citric acid lowers the pH of urine, making it more acidic. And this acidic urine irritates the sensitive lining of an aging bladder, causing that burning or discomfort that often translates into the urgent need to urinate multiple times during the night.
Do you have an example that illustrates this problem?
Yes. An older gentleman from Hyderabad told us he used to drink orange juice around 8 p.m. thinking it would help him relax and sleep better. But he began waking up 3 or 4 times a night feeling the urgent need to go. When he started drinking the juice earlier in the day, before 2 p.m., his sleep improved noticeably in just a few days.
Interesting. So we don't necessarily need to eliminate these fruits entirely?
Not at all. It's about choosing the right time to enjoy them. Eating citrus fruits earlier in the day, when digestion is more active and the bladder has time to recover, can help avoid those nighttime issues.
Then, for people who love the taste of oranges, what specific advice would you give?
My advice is to limit citrus intake to the morning or early afternoon, definitely before 2 p.m. Avoid having them near dinner or at night. Small timing adjustments like this can make a big difference in sleep quality and reduce nighttime urinary frequency.
Before we continue, I want to remind everyone listening that subscribing to Hidden Medical Thoughts will give you access to valuable interviews just like this one. Let's continue. Very valuable information, Doctor. What other fruits or habits should we analyze to keep improving the well-being of our audience?
Now let's talk about a very common fruit in Japan, and in many kitchens around the world, but one that's best avoided in its raw form at night: the tomato.
Dr. Yamazaki, what can you tell us about tomatoes and their impact on the bladder?
Absolutely. Tomatoes are undeniably popular and healthy. They're rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and pair well with a variety of dishes. But raw tomatoes contain a compound called oxalic acid. While not harmful to most people, it can cause problems for older adults with sensitive bladders.
How does oxalic acid act in the body, and why does it affect the bladder?
Oxalic acid can increase the formation of tiny crystals in the urine, which irritate the bladder walls. For younger people or those with healthy bladders, this irritation is minimal or non-existent. But in older adults, where the bladder's nerves and tissues are more delicate and reactive, this irritation translates into an urgent and frequent need to urinate, even when the bladder isn't full.
I see. Can you share an example to help us better understand this relationship?
Certainly. In the city of Kanazawa, I know an older couple who loved fresh tomato salads every night. They thought it was a healthy way to end their day, but they began waking up frequently to use the bathroom, interrupting their sleep and draining their energy during the day. Once they switched from raw tomatoes to cooked vegetables like carrots and spinach, their nighttime urgency decreased significantly. Their sleep improved, and they regained a sense of well-being they hadn't felt in years.
It's impressive how such a small change can make such a big difference. Are there specific recommendations for tomato consumption in older adults?
Yes, I recommend avoiding raw tomatoes, especially after 6 p.m. Instead, include cooked tomato in soups, stews, or steamed dishes. Heat reduces the oxalic acid concentration, making tomatoes much gentler on the bladder. Also, avoid combining tomatoes with other highly acidic or irritating foods at night. That could amplify the irritation and increase urinary frequency.
What would be the right amount for someone who still wants to enjoy cooked tomatoes?
A small portion, like half a cup of cooked tomato, 3 to 4 times a week, is enough to enjoy the benefits without harming the bladder. It's always better to introduce these changes gradually and observe how your body responds.
Any final tips for those who struggle with nighttime urination but love the taste of tomatoes?
My advice is to rediscover tomato in gentler forms. Try soups, broths, or homemade sauces using cooked tomato, and save raw tomato for lunch or early afternoon meals. That way, you minimize the risk while still enjoying the flavor of this popular fruit. Remember, mindful eating is a powerful step toward restful, uninterrupted nights.
To wrap up our segment on fruits to avoid at night, Doctor. Yamazaki, let's talk about a fruit that many older adults in Japan consider a sweet and healthy snack: grapes. What can you tell us about them?
Grapes are undeniably appealing, sweet, bite-sized, and easy to snack on. But here's the important detail most people don't know. Grapes contain natural sugars that, if eaten late in the day or with a full stomach, can start to ferment in the gut.
Ferment? That sounds concerning, especially for older adults. What effects does this fermentation have?
Exactly. Here's the crucial part. This fermentation process produces gas and can cause bloating in the lower abdomen. For an older adult, that bloating isn't just uncomfortable, it creates pressure on the bladder, increasing the urge to urinate during the night. Just imagine the discomfort and the sleep interruptions that causes.
Do you have an example of someone who experienced this?
Yes, a retired man from Sapporo shared that he loved eating black grapes almost every night before bed, but he complained about waking up multiple times, feeling like his bladder was full and his abdomen tight. When he shifted to eating grapes in the morning and stopped eating them at night, his sleep improved significantly.
What about grape skins?
That's another key detail. Grape skins are rich in fiber, but also tougher to digest, especially for older adults with slower intestinal movement. Undigested skins can increase gas and feelings of heaviness. So, if someone wants to enjoy grapes, I recommend peeling them and eating them during the day, never at night.
What about eating grapes cold? In Japan, many people refrigerate their fruit to keep it fresh.
Exactly. Cold fruit at night should be avoided. Cold temperatures slow digestion even more in older, more delicate bodies, worsening bloating and pressure on the bladder. That's why grapes should be eaten at room temperature and only early in the day.
Any final advice for those who love grapes but suffer from nighttime urination?
Yes, if you love grapes, eat them in moderation and ideally peeled. Avoid mixing them with dairy or yogurt at night. Those combinations can boost fermentation and gas production. Reserve grapes for breakfast or early afternoon to enjoy their benefits while avoiding discomfort.
This information is incredibly helpful, Doctor. Paying attention to small details in our diet can make a huge difference in quality of life and sleep. Dr. Yamazaki, thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights with us. Before we wrap up, what final message would you like to leave for the older adults listening to us today?
Thank you for allowing me to share this information. I want to remind everyone that taking care of what we eat is a powerful way to care for our overall well-being. It's not about giving up the flavors we love. It's about learning how and when to enjoy them. Every small change can make a big difference in our quality of life, especially when it comes to rest, which is essential for health.
That's a very important message. Watching what we eat doesn't just feed the body, it nourishes our peace of mind and sense of well-being.
Exactly. I encourage everyone to listen to their body, be patient with themselves, and slowly adjust their habits. That way, they'll start to enjoy calmer nights and more energetic days. And remember, it's never too late to start taking better care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yamazaki. We say goodbye with this reflection, which will surely inspire our listeners to make healthier choices. If you know an older adult who might benefit from this conversation, please share this episode with them so we can all learn together which fruits help prevent nighttime urination and which ones to avoid. This channel, Hidden Medical Thoughts, is dedicated to providing educational information on health and wellness. However, this should never be considered a substitute for professional medical care. The tips and recommendations shared here are for informational purposes only and not intended as medical advice. If you'd like to keep learning more, go ahead and watch the next episode.